Hey, my peeps, it's your guide of light to help you through the night, just bringing you intuitive insight to help you get on the good foot. So, I was driving home from work and I thought, raise your vibe to find your tribe, and a lot of people don't even consider the fact that there's a tribe that they're supposed to be with. It's your soul family, the people that compliment you, that make you feel good, that encourage and inspire you. A lot of people aren't living this life. They're still in karmic relationships, karmic cycles, dealing with people that try to drag them down because they can't lift themselves up. So if you are trying to better your life, you're tired of the mundane existence, you're tired of the working your ass off and not getting paid, you're tired of people ignoring you when you need them, and you know how it all goes. So here's a couple tips. And it helped me to raise my vibe. And don't get me wrong, I still meet certain people that start pulling me back down, but I realize it real quick and I'm like, clip it, go away. You are not in my life, because I will not be drugged back down to the pits of hell in which I have climbed out of over the last few years. So you have to stay positive, because you can get negative real fast. And I was talking to someone last night and they said, man, I need to learn how to control my anger. And I was like, you just have to remember, people are dealing with their own lives and they want to lash out at everybody. Only thing you can do is breathe and be like, not my problem. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I heard that a long time ago and that helped me make it through a lot of things. Not my circus, not my monkeys. And just ignore everything that's going on around you. Because if it doesn't apply to you, why let it affect you? We all have a tendency of looking outside of ourselves more than we do within ourselves. So if you can get to a point where you're like, that doesn't apply to me. It's not benefiting me and it's not hurting me. So what do I care? That will help you keep raising yourself up to break free from toxic cycles. Another thing you have to do, this is a hard one for all of us, especially when we're on the go. Drink plenty of water. I've been guilty of not doing this the last few days because I've been exhausted and drained and trying to keep up with all these kids. And I'm like, caffeine. But when you drink too much caffeine, it puts you in that, an anxious state. And you're always expecting something. And then by the end of the day, you're going to crash and just feel like you need something. But water will actually give you the energy you need, because we're made of water, not caffeine and sugar and all these extra additives, right? I mean, sure, we've got sugar in our body, but natural sugars are way better than synthetic sugars. So, like I said, stay away from toxic people, stay positive, drink your water, try to get your body moving, try to exercise. Even if all you do is get up and you're like, do that for 2 minutes and you will start seeing your life change. I promise you. I didn't believe this till I started doing it. And I had subscribed to the Gaia channel. I don't know if anyone else has. It's an awesome channel if you can afford it. But there was a lot of techniques to help rewire the brain from neuropathways that had been damaged from trauma and abuse and things like that. That oddly was one of them. Sorry, Mr. Plant. That was one of them. Just hold your hands up. And you have to be able to look yourself in the face and say, I love you. I forgive you. I will not abandon you any longer. The more you can forgive yourself, the more you're going to keep raising yourself up. The more you raise yourself up, it doesn't mean you're not going to encounter toxic people. You're just not going to be at the low of the low. You're not going to be way down to where they can just suck you right back down. Instead, you're going to gradually ascend to a place where you become untouchable by the cesspool of nasty. So you want to get your body moving. You want to get your brain to slow down. You want to steady your breathing. And I've gone over this before. If you are feeling that fight or flight, breathe in. Breathe out. Just make sure you hold it in between to put that oxygen in your body. Because we live in a world that's very toxic. We know this. The air quality is not great. The sun is beating us and drying us out and scorching us. It's not doing it. We've done it to ourselves. But either way it goes, we have inadvertently made our lives miserable by enduring all the toxicity. allowing people to make choices for us, allowing governments to control us in certain ways, allowing other people to tell us what's right and wrong with our thoughts, things like that. So we have to learn to get back to ourselves. So like I said, the more you can think positive, drink your water. And I like to drink water that is has a pH level to it, because it adds that certain minerals and nutrients that you need to your body. Try to stay away from anything that has fluoride in it, because it calcifies your pineal gland, which helps to open up your third eye. So if you want to open up that intuition, you've got to stay away from certain things that are actually causing problems within your body that you're not aware of. And it's going to block you from moving forward. Funny how things have been set up, but that's how things go. So this is why I'm trying to help educate you from things that I have learned and I have studied over the last decade that have helped me to go, okay, now I'm ready. Chains are broken. I can start moving forward. Oh no, there's a blockage. What do I do? Okay, just sit and think about it. Drink your water, exercise, get back in a positive mindset. Because the more you're trying to move forward in your path, the more you're going to have people that are like, hey, no, you're not going anywhere. And you're like, why? Oh, okay, I'll entertain you for a second. No, I won't. Goodbye. And you've got to learn to start telling people, goodbye. This is not working for me, and I don't have to endure this. You have choices. It's called your life for a reason. So start embracing the fact that you can change yourself. You can alter the chemistry of your body. You can alter the state of your mind. And I remember as a kid, I would be in a bad attitude, start getting depressed, and my mom would say, change your mood. Change your mood. And I'd be, it's not that simple. And she said, it really is, change your mood. I didn't believe her till I got older, and now I have a daughter that I'm having to say, change your mood. The cycle continues, where we as children hear our parents, we don't necessarily respond the way that they want us to, and then we become the adult, and all of a sudden we're like, they were onto something. I look at you differently now. You have to kind of walk in their shoes to give them the respect that you never gave to them, to have someone else not giving you the respect that you never gave. Nasty little cycle, like I said. So if we can start to teach ourselves, then our children watch us, and then our children learn. So the next generation doesn't have to go through what we're going through. Doesn't mean they won't live in a toxic world, but when you can lessen the toxicity, then you can build the healthier, positive way of being. Then we can start altering diseases and illnesses and the giving up mentality, because we have okayed the giving up mentality, and that holds all of us back in life. It puts a ringer in the concept of life, because even those that want to move forward have a hard time, because like I said, you got the person that's like, hey, wait, no, let me distract you, and you're like, no, I was doing so good. And the hardest one for me is trying not to put toxins in my body. And if I'm like flying high and I'm like, I want to celebrate, I start drinking. I'm not going to lie. And the next day I feel so drained. And I don't know if you remember those times you used to go out and party, or even now, the times that you drink, you could be flying high, right? That's why it's called the elixir of the gods. And then when you have too much, it becomes not the elixir of the god, and you become the fool. You start doing things. You may or may not remember them. You start becoming a little bit more aggressive. It alters the composition of your body. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not dogging on drinking, because we all like to relax. But the thing is, everything in moderation, right? And that's the hard part. Especially coming from a line of alcoholics, it's hard to be like, oh, one was enough. I feel relaxed enough. Because for me, once I relax, then I'm like, oh, turn the music up, the party starts. And it just doesn't work in my favor, because once the party starts, the next day I'm like, I don't want to do anything. And I drain myself. Not back to the cesspool, but it's still a fluctuation of ready, set, nope. Ready, set, nope. So there is something that comes with having a dry spell, let's say, detoxing your body. And that also goes with the food we eat. When you can start eating healthier foods that will benefit your body, rather than eating empty calories that aren't going to even give you nutrition, and your body's like, I'm starving. You can see it in your kids that eat junk food. You can see it in yourself when you eat junk food. It's like if I go to a fast food restaurant and I don't eat a whole lot, but then I turn around and I'm like, I'm starving 30 minutes to an hour later compared to when there's a home cooked meal. And even when it comes to fruits and vegetables, when those are my go-tos, I'm constantly eating because my body's like, yeah, give me more of that. Oh, we haven't had that in a while, because that also is a factor in the cost of food. Sometimes we have to sacrifice. Sometimes we can't have nice cold food on the go, right? Like your watermelon and your blueberries and your strawberries and things that need to be on ice. But that's where you can get a lunch kit with a freezer pack, and you can actually still give your body what it wants and needs, because you have to train your body what it wants. Because a lot of people, like even when I was practicing being a vegetarian for 5 years, it took a while for my body to adapt to the concept that I didn't need meat. My brain was okay with it because I was in college and had to write a slaughterhouse report from the beginning to end, and I was like, I don't want that anymore. Then I started realizing more and more about the things that we consume, and it kind of drove me into a period where I was like, I don't want that. I don't want that. But it got so intense that I wouldn't even eat certain things that had the byproduct of animals in it. And at one point I was like, I'm just going to starve to death. So I had to release that control. I had to tell myself, whatever your body is getting is what your body is needing. But still, once again, everything in moderation. So if you're, like I said, wanting to raise your vibration, these are a few tips that hopefully will help you to start saying, I want to find my tribe. I want to get on the good foot. I want to see prosperity and abundance flowing into my life. And the only way you're going to do that is to start disconnecting from things that you're comfortable with that aren't beneficial for you. And it's not going to be the easiest task, but neither is working out, losing weight, all the things that we want in life, right? Having that nice home, that nice car, but yet we're willing to work for that. So all you have to do is dedicate your heart to it, set your mind on it, and say, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I'm willing to do to get it. And discipline yourself. Because it's even proven children that are disciplined love those caregivers a lot more because they have a sense of security. They start understanding that they're safe. Do that for yourself. Do that for your body. Do that for your mind, because only you can do that. If you ask anyone else to do that, then you're being codependent and you're relying on them to pacify you while you're living in a miserable life. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to leave it on that note. Sending you peace, love, and light. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.